Hi children, nice to meet again. We have been doing in the last lesson the types of angles. Now we studied about the different types of angles: acute angle, right angle, obtuse angle, straight angle, reflex angle, and how to draw them. And uh, we did some exercises on angles on a straight line. Today we go on to a different type of angle called vertically opposite angles. Now these angles are very, very important because all the angles you must have in your fingertips. Then only you will be able to solve the problems. If you forget one type of angle, then you won't be able to solve that problem. So what are vertical opposite angles? Vertical opposite angle is very easy. Just we must know how it comes. We have two straight lines like this. These straight lines are intersecting at this point here. We call it O. Then we have these two opposite angles. These two angles are equal. Now if you measure them, here if you keep the protractor here and measure, now this will come to, when you measure this will come to 130 degrees. And we can, since because this is a straight line, immediately we can say that this is 50 degrees. Can you see? Now this is a straight line. When you measure this angle, 130 degrees, this is 50 degrees. Now in the same way, if we measure this angle, it will come into 130 degrees. 130 degrees. And if this is 130, this should be 50. Now in this particular case, we will see that these two angles are equal. These are called vertically opposite angles. Vertically opposite angles. This one and this one. Now if this is 130, this is also 130. If this is 50, this is 50. This is also 50. When any two straight lines intersect, if this is 40, immediately we can say this is also 40. Then how can you find out this angle? This angle is, because this is a straight line, angle not straight. Look how we studied the earlier angles, they come in useful. Because these are straight line, we know that angles on straight line add up to 180 degrees. So if this is 40 degrees, this has to be 140. So if this is 140, this has to be 140 again. So vertical opposite angles are equal. So this is a straight line. If you know one angle, we can calculate all the other angles. We'll take another problem. Look at this one. Here two straight line intersecting, and we take this as, say, 30. And we have a line here, and we call this as x and x. You have to find the value of x. How can we do that? Now we know that this is a straight line, so straight line angles add up to 180 degrees. So if this is 30, so this is 150. And these vertical opposite angles here, this is 30. 30. Then can you see this is also vertical opposite angle here? These two lines are intersecting, so this angle is equal to this angle. So this is 150, this is also 150. But these x and x, that means both are equal. So therefore 2x should be equal to 150. Therefore 1x should be equal to 150 divided by 2, that is 75 degrees. So these 75 degrees and these are 75 degrees. Okay. So these are the types of problems that you get on vertical opposite angle, children. It's very easy. The only thing is you have to just identify the vertical opposite angles and see that they are, and you know that they are equal. Okay, children, now we studied vertical opposite angles. Now we are going to study angles on a parallel line. On parallel lines. You know what parallel lines are. When you see parallel lines everywhere on the wherever you go. So railway lines are parallel lines. You know about that. Then I will say the different sides of a ruler. You take a ruler, both sides are parallel, opposite the adjacent sides. So parallel lines go like this, and we say that they don't meet. Any amount of distance they can go, but they will never meet. And in between the parallel lines, every side is equal. Now these are the parallel lines. And we mark them as with the two arrows like this. If we have two lines with arrow like this, that means they are parallel. They can mark it like this also here. You can mark here. So these are parallel lines. Now I have I have a line cut in the parallel lines like this. This is called the transversal. This parallel lines is cut by this transversal. And now can you see there are eight angles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are eight angles here. And you can easily say that notice that these are straight lines, so these are adjacent angles on a straight line. Same way here. Straight line, adjacent angle on a straight line. So they are up to 180 degrees. Here also straight line adding up to 180 degrees. Now on parallel lines, when we will observe more carefully, you will notice that there are other types of angles. First of all, we have what you call alternate angles. Alternate angles. We mark angles like this. Alternate angles are coming on either side and with a letter Z. Now these are two parallel lines. These two angles are called alternate angles. So can you see in this figure, you will notice that these are Z here. So these are alternate angles. Alternate angles are equal. So we have another pair of alternate angles here, this one and this one. We can have N also. Alternate angles. So that is one pair. Then we have another pair of angles. It is called corresponding angles. Corresponding angles. Corresponding angles come with the letter F. Come with the letter F. How does the F come? Can you see? If we cover this one, you can see the letter F. Now this angle and this angle are corresponding angles. We can have F in so many ways. Now can you see F is coming that way. So we have this angle and this angle. One inside, one outside. And we can have F this way also. Yeah. F this side. So we have this angle and this angle. Like that, so 4 ways you can have the letter F. So corresponding angles comes to 4 pairs. Now here, supposing we write A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Alternate angles come to D equals E. And we can have a C equals F. In this particular figure, you have 2 pairs of alternate angles. For corresponding angles, we have 4 pairs. How? If we write letters for this, A, B, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, H. Now, what are the corresponding angles here? One inside, one outside. There is D equals H, A equals E, B equals F, and C equals G. Can see, and all coming as F, with the letter F. Here, A in this particular one, here, D equals H. If we have the F there, E equals A. Then B equals F. So you have to practice this. You have to draw the diagram and then go on practicing this angle. Then only you will be thorough with it. Now, we have one more type of angle on this diagram, on parallel lines, which we have to study. Look at the parallel lines. So we have the transversal. Then we studied about alternate angles, either or N. Then we studied about corresponding angles, one outside, one inside. One inside, one outside line. Then we have another type of angle called allied angles. Allied angles, or in some countries they say interior angles. Interior angles. Allied angles. Allied angles are both are inside, but they are not equal. I will say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So we have C and F. but C and F, they add up to 180 degrees. That is the thing we should know about allied angles. Allied angles are not, can you observe the angles, one is obtuse, one is acute. This obtuse is acute. So they can't be equal. But they add up to 180 degrees. Same way, D plus E is equal to 180 degrees. So in this particular figure, you notice two pairs of allied angles. One pair is C plus F equals 180 degrees, the other is D plus E equals 180 degrees. So, but if you observe this figure carefully, you will notice other types of angles are also coming. Now look, we studied about vertical opposite angles. Here, A and C, vertical opposite angles, D and B. So there are four pairs of vertical opposite angles here. And we have angles on a straight line, B plus C 180 degrees, A plus. So all those things come in useful in a figure like this. We'll have one more example we'll take. Two parallel lines cut by a transversal. Now I am calling this angle as 60 degrees. If you know this angle, we can find out all the other angles in this figure. How? If this is 60, we know that this is equal to 60 vertical opposite angles. Then we know that this straight line, therefore if this is 60, this should be 120 degrees. So if this is 120 degrees, this should be 120 degrees again vertical opposite angles. So in this particular place, we have found out all the four angles. Now can you notice, because these parallel lines, you get either here, either. And so this angle should be equal to this angle, alternate angles. So once you get all one angle here, then we can find all the other angles. This is equal to 60 degrees, and this is equal to 120 degrees, and these are 120 degrees. So we started with only 60, but we are able to find all the 8 angles here. So these are for today, children. We studied about vertical opposite angles and parallel lines. Very, very important. Everywhere you get these type of angles, numerical examples. So study hard and try to familiarize this and keep in touch. That's all for today, children. I hope you liked the lesson. Please subscribe if you have liked it.